There is a dimension beyond which is known to humankind, a dimension of sound and sight of mind, a dimension intended only for mature audiences, and exists solely as a form of entertainment, without intentions of education or societal enrichment. It's a podcast. It's what you're listening to right now. It's a podcast. It's a podcast we call Lore Folk.
Welcome back to Lore Folk, a podcast where we riff on all things paranormal. I'm your host, Maddie Barr. And today I'm joined by my co-host, confidant, Aidan Kidd. He's all three of those things. My voice cracked, you guys. My voice cracked. I'm not supposed to do the intro.
No, I'm keeping it like that. That's how it's gonna be. Look. Normally I would edit out phlegmy things like that, but that was too funny to me. So that's why I'm subjecting the entire audience to have to listen to it.
Yay. It's October now.
It is October now. Way to date the episode, Maddie.
No, I'm not dating. I'm simply celebrating the Festivus season. You got you over the garden walls. You got you playing Undertale again. You watching Coraline.
And singing songs about Coraline. That she's the cute as a button and is, in fact, a pal of mine.
Those are from two different verses of the Coraline song, Aidan. So
I don't
if you're
care.
They're just different.
In fact, Maddie,
if
Maddie,
you didn't
don't
do
you
it on
fucking
my
come
podcast.
for me on Coraline, I swear to God.
It's October.
It's
Yay.
October.
That's the fucking season of this podcast, if there ever was one. Hooray.
It makes doing Halloween-themed things kind of difficult. Because it's constantly Halloween here, basically.
But we're going to try our darndest.
But before we do that, there's been some... This is really hard for me to say. There have been some allegations made against me recently that I feel are important to address. It has recently been said on social media, personally, that I have band kid energy.
Oh no.
And I'd like to set the record straight, and that's the fact that I do not have band kid energy. I have theater kid energy. And that is a different, but equally terrible kind of energy. See, what must be understood is that band kids T-pose and watch wholesome Keanu Reeves compilations on YouTube.com. Theater kids, they go pee-pee in their pants. I had absolutely...
They do. They do. It's true. I can confirm. The reports are true. It's all true. As a band kid and a theater kid, they do go pee-pee in their pants. I can't hide this any longer. Aidan, how'd you fucking know that?
I didn't have a joke. I didn't have anything.
Anyway.
I didn't know where to go.
Band kids know how to insult people. Theater kids resort to, they go pee-pee in their pants.
Okay, anyway.
So...
You have a thing you want to say?
Yes! So, seeing good lore folks, as it's the beginning of October, there's something very important.
Wait, hold on. Are we the lore folk, or is the audience the lore folk? I've been meaning to have this conversation.
We're all the lore folk. We're the lore folk, and they're the lore folks.
We do need a name for the fan base, now that we're, big-time podcasters. I like the idea of calling them the folk, because it is this kind of ominous-sounding thing. It implies that they're almost like a hive mind that will tear us asunder if we ever stop bringing them the funny goofs.
I do like that. Not being torn asunder, but...
We'll workshop it later. Keep saying what you're going to say.
It's the beginning of October, which means that a very important historical event has now passed, and we forgot to talk about it before it happened in real life. But for you listening, it's already happened. It's the Area 51 raid! Yay! Again! As far as I can tell, people have said that they're gonna do it every year now, which I personally think is an adorable, cultural, yay, we're all gonna go be dumb together in the desert.
They're gonna be really dumb. There's a fucking pandemic.
Right.
This is a terrible idea. It was already terrible, and it's only ever been made worse by 2020.
People are saying, oh, they might not attack us because of COVID, right? So they're like, what are you going to do? Come get corona? You can't touch me. I'm walking right into this base, right?
Maddie!
So that's the theory anyway. That's the running theory.
Maddie, don't you see, though, is that they're going to succeed this time because of that.
Yeah.
And the cruel irony is that they're going to get the alien and they're going to break him out, and then he's going to die of COVID like the fucking aliens from War of the Worlds.
Exactly. That's what's going to happen. So you basically already predicted it, but I just thought it would be fun, since the audience knows what happens and we don't yet, if we had some quick little Area 51 Raid 2.0 predictions.
Just to stipulate, we don't know what's going to happen, actually, so if something actually terrible happens, please don't roast us for it.
Actually terrible happens, this bit's
we'll
cut,
know.
Yesterday.
Yeah. You never heard this if something genuinely really horrible happened and we knew about it and we could edit it out.
If you weren't paying attention and you're hearing this, congrats! It must have went well.
I slipped it through. Something horrible has happened, and I accidentally let it slide because I didn't listen back to the whole episode when I was editing it. So what I think is going to happen, I think a bunch of people are going to, much like the original Area 51 raid, they're going to reference a bunch of really fucking dated memes. They're going to T-pose, they're going to say Big Chungus real loud. It's going to be a great time for those people.
For the band kids.
I was literally about to say, you know who does go to Area 51 raids? That's the difference between theater kids and band kids, is that band kids try to raid Area 51.
Yeah.
What are your predictions, Maddie?
I think, in the same vein, I think the whole COVID thing will come into play, but I'm actually optimistic, that the memers and the band kids will get in because of the
lovers, the memers, and me.
Shut up.
As the famous lyric goes.
No. They'll get in, and then the aliens will have the cure for COVID. I'm really banking on that right now. So, as I record this, actually, I'm at a large barbecue in public with several people breathing on me. So I'm really hoping that the aliens have the cure for COVID, because if not, I'm kind of screwed, you guys.
The ultimate Deus Ex Machina of 2020. Oh my god, and it actually works, because the payoff, the Chekhov's gun of last year's fucking thing. Oh my god, the prestige!
It's all a part of an elaborate bet that I'm doing. I'm like, oh yeah, you don't think that they're gonna have the cure in Area 51? Watch me. If they don't, I'll simply die.
And anyway, anybody going to the thing, please stay safe and be responsible.
Be responsible. Bring water. Bring sunscreen. Don't talk to strangers. And make sure your fucking car doesn't break down in the desert, because nobody wants to come help you for being a buffoon.
I'd hate to lose fellow seekers of the truth.
Aidan.
Yes?
Please give us something spooky to talk about.
This comes from Level 5 Yahoo Answers user Boy, who asks, have you ever used a Ouija board to try to contact outer space aliens? I was wondering if you ever used a Ouija board to contact outer space aliens. I didn't realize how stupid that sounded until I read it out loud.
You're like, let me read it again for clarity.
No, they wrote that twice. There's the actual question, and then there's the details below it, and it's basically the same thing, and I didn't realize it at the time.
This is interesting, because in my years on the planet, I assumed that Luigi boards were for ghosts and other dead things. But the idea that you could talk to aliens is kind of interesting. Maybe the only reason we haven't contacted them is because we didn't realize we could. They're on the speed dial in the Ouija board, and we just didn't know.
Well, I guess to answer the question, no, I haven't. ever used.
Oh, right.
That's specifically the question. No, I haven't ever done this. But what I think would probably be the situation is that, no, you could not contact space aliens should you try this. But I do believe that you could contact alien ghosts with this.
Aliens who have died?
Aliens who have died, and because they are incorporeal and can just float around the infinite vast vacuum of the cosmos, they can just travel the galaxy at will, and some of them probably ended up on Earth.
That's true.
There's plenty of time for them to have done that. And who knows, maybe when you're a ghost, you get fast travel or something, like you're a goddamn
Just
Zelda.
gonna say, I had the wholesome thought that when you die, you can just do space travel. Right? Maybe the aliens were trying to get to Earth and they haven't yet, but all the dead aliens are like, oh, you're almost there. It's real. It's right here. I'm on Earth. I'm at a fish concert. I don't know. Why is that the first, like, human thing that I thought of? At a fucking fish concert? Who the fuck am I?
That's so sad.
God.
Who are you?
Hey, if you're an alien ghost, you're listening, don't go to a fucking fish concert. Like, do something else. Literally anything else. Good God.
What I would like to do when I die is go out into space. And originally, when I used to always say that, and it used to just kind of be to float around and see cool stars and stuff. Because why the fuck would I watch the boring shit that happens on Earth? Why would I watch the planet self-destruct? I want to go see the fucking Eye of Jupiter. That big old storm or whatever. That's on Jupiter, right? I know planets.
Sure.
We'll just agree with that. But now, I want to go into space. And I want to terrorize alien children who are using their Ouija boards. I'm gonna tell them all the terrifying things about Earth that they don't know about. I'm gonna tell them about hereditary loans. I'm gonna tell them about the Electoral College. It will ruin their day.
That's so sad.
It's the most evil thing I could imagine. And I'm so excited to engage in such activities. What would you do, Maddie? Would you?
I don't know.
Would you do that? Would you like to terrorize alien children?
No, I wouldn't. We can start there. I would not like to terrorize alien children. Not because they're children or because they're aliens, just because that doesn't sound like a lot of fun to me.
What if they scream by sneezing, Maddie? That'll be hilarious. You're gonna miss out on a lot of that. Who knows what kind of orifices they have?
When I die, I'd like to be cremated. That's it.
Cool. What does that have to do with whether or not you be a ghost and you go to space, Maddie?
I guess it doesn't, huh? I guess that doesn't eliminate the ghost part. I thought I had it all figured out.
No.
I don't know. I look at planets. You know, go touch the sun, because I can. Right? Actually,
I was about to say, you nerd, but then I was like, I want to touch the sun.
I'm gonna stare directly at the sun, and every single eclipse that happens, I'm gonna look right fucking dead on at those events and be like, yeah! You can't hurt my eyes anymore! I got that dead prescription! Woo! I have another question.
Gimme that question now.
I always have to sing them. I want no responsibilities. What if I just wished to be a toddler forever, to a genie, and retain my knowledge and memories if they existed? Now, that's the whole question. But what I want to know is, as a genie, would you allow this? Would you grant this wish? Is there some kind of catch here, or is this just a dumb enough request that you think maybe a genie would just go for it?
If I was a genie, I would do this 100%, because I would be able to do my ultimate goal, which is make the boss baby real.
Is that your ultimate life goal?
That's the only reason I'm still alive, Maddie, is my work is not done yet.
Oh, once the boss baby becomes real, you'll cease to exist. That's interesting.
Yeah, I'll fade away. My business is complete.
What if somebody else, you're like, okay, Aidan's completed his life course. He's getting married. He's at, it's the peak of his existence or whatever. He's at the altar. I mean, marriage isn't the peak of existence. Well, we'll just pretend it is for Aidan. He's at the altar. It's the happiest day of his life. And then somewhere in a lab on the other side of the planet.
Someone else does it. And
Somebody
I'm like, no, I found meaning. No!
Someone else makes the boss baby real. And Aiden's they're putting the ring on your finger as it disintegrates. And you're like, oh no, it's happening.
Someone else does it. And I'm like, no, I found meaning. No! And my partner's like, what happened? And they'll live the rest of their life never knowing. They'll end up thinking I Bilbo Baggins'd out of there. Because they put a ring on my finger and I vanished. They're gonna think I Bilbo'd and I bailed on them. Not only that I died, but that I never loved them in the first place and that I have abandoned them. This has taken a very odd turn.
They'll figure it out, right? And then they'll realize that as a revenge plot, it's their duty in life to destroy the boss baby. Because your narrative foils to each other. That's why you were getting married.
You have to kill the boss baby so that I may live again.
Yeah. Wow.
It's a real fucking Orpheus and Eurydice kind of situation.
Yeah, seriously.
You gotta go sway the boss baby with song to bring me back to the world of the living.
Hades Town, but Hades is just the boss baby.
The only difference. The only difference. All right, here we are in the ad break. This is where we do ads, and normally we would make up them ads, but somebody paid us to do a real ad this time. Maddie, tell people how they can also pay us to do ads.
If you want to pay us to do a real ad, you can go to pnnpodcasts.com/advertising and purchase an ad. We have $5 ads like this one for more serious advertising endeavors, and $6 ads for fun memeing. So go to pnnpodcast.com/advertising and buy an ad just like this one for the video essay series And Now They Sing. Aidan, tell us about it, please.
Hey, you! Are you tired of your standard everyday cryptids, like Bigfoot or the Mothman? Would you be more interested in a cryptid that was blue and lived on another planet and was featured in the 2009 James Cameron film Avatar? We're speaking, of course, of the Na'vi, those weird aliens with the funny sex hair. Well, did you know that in 2015, you could watch the Na'vi live on stage in a production created by Cirque du Soleil? It was called Turok, The First Flight, and it was just as weird as you imagine it to be. Want to know more? YouTube channel And Now They Sing recently released a 30-minute breakdown on the history of Turok, and you can watch it absolutely free. And Now They Sing produces video essays about theater history, with recent videos covering the 2 adaptations of The Wild Party, and the history of how the Pirates of Penzance switched genres.
It's a tongue twister.
And the history of how the Pirates of Penzance... I'm gonna lose it.
Just leave all this in. They know what you're trying to say, Aidan, please.
No. And the history... They paid good money for this! And the history of... and the history of how the Pirates of Penzance switched genres. Check out And Now They Sing on YouTube today and learn about the history of the performing arts.
Wow.
Fuck me!
Thank you so much for that incredible
I hope you
ad
liked
read,
the money
Aidan.
you spent, and now they sing. Also, I recommend doing a future episode on the Lord of the Rings musical. I think that would be a really interesting watch.
Hey, do you want to know a fun fact about the Lord of the Rings musical, Aidan?
Please fucking tell me right now. I want to know everything about it.
I was in the Lord of the Rings musical in high school! I played a troll, and I got to learn how to walk on stilts.
They license it to schools?
No, it was a small community theater that I did stuff at in high school.
Well, I mean, like, they license it to local theaters?
Yes, and it was
I didn't even know it was available.
It was so... Well, actually... Oh, you know what? I've lied to you all because my brain doesn't work. It wasn't The Lord of the Rings. It was The Hobbit. But
Oh,
The Hobbit,
shut the fuck
musical,
up! Shut the fuck up!
The
Get
Hobbit
out
the
of
musical also
here!
exists, and I was in it, and it was so bad that our
that's not
musical
what I'm
director,
talking about. That's
our
some bullshit. No.
Okay. It was really bad. We rewrote all the music for it because it was so terrible. Okay, that's all. I have another question.
Do elaborate upon this question into my ear holes, please.
Somebody from Yahoo named Wooden Chew, and then their picture is like a super cool wood carving of Pikachu. First of all, that's cool. They asked, do ghosts float so they don't phase through the world and fall into space forever?
Are ghosts truly in creative mode and have control over their flight patterns? Or are they at the will? Like, are ghosts fixed points in the universe and their movements are actually the movements of the planets and the stars and the cosmos? You know how, like, entire galaxies spin. So they're actually getting left behind and they're just standing there where they died in the cosmic sense. That's awful. I hate that idea.
So you die and then you're sitting there and then you just have to wait for the Earth to rotate to like the place you want to be. God, you have to think about your fucking where on the equator you are when you die.
And that's why hauntings are so like sparse. Is the fact that you gotta wait to get your chance to be like, boo! And then that's the one thing you get for like a millennia.
Right. Wow. Maybe.
Oh, I hate that idea. I like my flying into space idea so much more than that.
Right. Well, it makes sense, scientifically, obviously, that if you phase through everything you touch, you don't want to touch the ground because you can't just stand on it. But what's so bad about falling into space forever? We've already covered this.
No, but the point is that you're stuck in one spot. And
no,
you're
I know,
not
but
getting
I'm
to
saying
see all
as
the
a
cool
ghost,
stuff.
Why float? Or why float to avoid phasing through the planet? I think phasing through the planet would be cool. I want to see the crust firsthand, okay?
I want to see those dinosaurs at the center. I know they're in there. Brendan Fraser told me they were there. Brendan Fraser was in that movie, right? That was Brendan Fraser.
Sure, yeah.
It was Brendan Fraser, definitely.
We'll have our fact checker look at that, and if not, it'll get
What
cut.
say you, fact checker? Checks out. Thanks, fact checker. Brendan Fraser was in the movie. That would have been why is Seth Meyers in this fucking movie? What was he doing? Professor Alan
talking about?
Kitsins? Who's that? I need a full history on Professor Alan Kitsins from the 2008 flop Journey to the Center of the Earth, starring Brendan Fraser and apparently Seth Meyers. What is this?
Flop? Excuse you?
Well, box office-wise, I think. I guess it didn't do that bad. It made back its budget. It actually did okay. Never mind. It's just no one ever talks about it, and it didn't make any cultural influence.
Isn't Josh Hutcherson
Yes,
in
he
this
is. Yeah, what happened to the bit? We lost it. We got lost in the facts. Give me that fun fact.
Lorefolk is on Twitter and YouTube and Instagram. And you should follow us there.
It's at Lorefolk Podcast. On all of those things, I think.
Yes, and we post memes when we do episodes, and Aidan posts his really good animatics and whatever else comes up. And here's a super fun fact. We're like kind of close to 600 followers on YouTube, and I think as a fun spooky treat, it would be neat if we tried to get to 666 followers by Halloween. Because for Halloween reasons.
So tell your friends about us.
Yeah, maybe go give us a follow, for the bit.
Yeah, if you're just listening to this shit on Spotify, go to the YouTube thing and subscribe.
Yeah, there's cool artwork that Aidan did that's on every single YouTube video. And I stare at it longingly, wishing that was the real me, the little animated me. I want to be her so bad.
If you want to submit a question or a Yahoo Answers post or some other third thing that you'd want to see us talk about, go and send it over to lorefolksubmissions@gmail.com or comment on the YouTube version of this episode. Just make sure to include your pronouns and whatever name you want us to call you by. Also, we're recording our hour-long Halloween special soon, so please, we need some extra spicy Halloween things to talk about. Maddie, do you want one more fact before we go?
Please.
Theater kids go pee-pee and poo-poo with their pants.
No.
And you know what? You know what's extra? You know what's the worst thing about that? Is the fact that I said, do you want another fact? Without any idea what the fuck I was gonna say.
Wow.
And then immediately said the same thing. Not even as like an intentional callback, but just as a genuine moment of intellectual weakness.
That's the only thing that's in your brain when there's nothing else there. Wow.
That's because I am a theater kid and that's what I do.